the thing that I think will disappoint Yankee fans is, and of course, this always people get angry when you say it is. I am not Hal Steinbrenner. I'm not Hal Steinbrenner's representative. If I owned the Yankees and I had lots of money, I might do other things. There are people who I trust who tell me that Hal Steinbrenner's Yankees lose money every year and that he wants to bring the payroll down. Now, if that first part is true, I don't know. They don't open their books. I know the franchise value continues to go up. That's just duh. But my strong suspicion from talking to people with the Yankees who converse with the Yankees regularly is, and Hal Steinbrenner has said this publicly, is he wants to get under $300 million. dollars.
Mm.
He wants to get under $300 million. dollars. And again, this is what the owner of the team wants. So, so Ryan, we can do the exercise that you want to do here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what fans want to know. But at some point, this isn't what you want, it's what is. And I think the goal, and I'll be happy to answer any question as best as I can. But I think the goal this offseason is to try to get under $300 million luxury tax money. I think within that, they'd like to re-sign Cody Bellinger, add another reliever who can pitch in the final 6 outs of the game. If that person was left-handed, that would be great. It is very hard to find. I think they'd like to find a complementary starting pitcher to help them through some injuries early in the season. I think they'd love to flip JC Esquera for a righty version of JC Esquera and understand and appreciate, I think they do, that having two left-handed hitting catchers and really three left-hand hitting catchers last year didn't work. And I think they'd like to find a complementary right-handed bat and maybe plus Ahmad Rosario, who they liked a great deal and tried in previous years to get. That all told, I think the Yankees would feel if they got the versions of the players they wanted to, they would feel that's a 90 plus win team and they'd have a shot to line it up and that they could do that in the high 200s. That's my suspicion from, again, it's early in the offseason. They keep their cards close to the vest. So when it comes to um, uh, Tucker and Bellinger, I think they very much would like Bellinger back, even as a exercise in unlimited funds. I'm not sure, and I think there's a lot of teams that feel this way, not just the Yankees. I think Kyle Tucker is going to get a contract that at minimum starts it with a three
Hmm.
and probably begins with a four, as in 400 million something. I think there are teams that even have the money who are, is this really like, are we taking a great complementary player and because he's the best player in a market, wanting to turn him into a leading man? Because I'm not sure even Kyle Tucker, beyond the money, wants to be a leading man. Uh, so I think even if the Yankees were more evergreen financially, you'd hear them in different markets wanting to spend. I'm not sure Tucker is their guy. I think Bellinger is their guy. And by the way, Tucker's a good player. I think I did this on a previous show, and I'll try to do it quickly again. Uh, I think Kyle Tucker lights up the Christmas tree that is uh, a laptop, an analytic laptop, right? He does. One executive who had him on his team at some point, when I try to make a case, the case for me quickly has always been I've covered so many big Yankee Astro series.
Hmm.
And you will leave a Yankee Astro series going, Jose Altuve, man, Cooperstown. Carlos Correa, great. What a player. Yordan Alvarez, Jeremy Pena, George Springer, like Bregman. I don't ever remember leaving a Yankee Astro series, and there's been a lot of big ones over the last 10 years where I went, that thing Kyle Tucker did, I
Mm.
can't get it out of my head. An executive who had him said, you are underappreciating what it means to be good at everything. And sometimes you don't see it, but at the end of the day, he has a single and a stolen base and a walk, and he played good defense, and he's a good base runner, and he could hit left on left, and he sees a lot of pitches. And his point was there's a cumulative thing that does show up in WAR that you're not appreciating. And I would say even with that, I got it, but that's a co-star. To me, that's a co-star and not a like we have allowed the marketplace like Juan Soto somehow we skipped all the hundreds. We went from like 300 to 700.
700.
So now it feels like, well, what's a lot less than that?
Yeah.
Well, 400. And I'm not exact like Juan Soto to me is a star. Um, Aaron Judge is a
Aaron
star,
Judge is a star.
right? Like there are Bobby Witt Jr. is a star. I don't get star out of Kyle Tucker. So if I had the money, I'm not sure that's the player I'd want
Hmm.
because I just feel like you watch him and he's OG Anunoby. And like that's really good. He's good
Yes.
at everything, right? Like you watch OG Anunoby play and he's good, but he's not a star.
He's not a star, but he's a damn good player that can help
He's
you
a
win a lot of
damn good
games.
player, but within the framework of the NBA, he's not at the top of the payroll. And Kyle Tucker, of course, how free agency works, is about to go to the near the top of the payroll, especially in guaranteed money long term. He's had a couple of injuries. I I'm not here to save Hal Steinbrenner's money. If he told me I could spend it, I'm not sure I would spend it on that player. Like I would more be like, I'll sign Alex Bregman and trade the current third baseman,
Mm.
right? Because I think Bregman is such a great clubhouse guy. Like he brings so much energy and right hand bat, which I think they kind of need. And like, and by the way, I don't think they're doing that from my aggregator idiots out there. Uh, which so I think Bellinger is the key to their offseason. Uh, I don't know if that was long-winded. I don't know if I answered your
No, you
question there,
did. You kind
but
of you
but I
kind of
just
did.
think I think it's going to be kind of like whatever you ask here, Ryan.
Yeah, yeah.
The answer is going to be I think that there's probably a plan B where they say spend more on a different area if they don't get Bellinger.
Okay.
But Bellinger is, I'm buying my significant other 5 Christmas presents. Here's the big one, and here's the scarf, like tickets to the show we want to see, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like there's the other 4 gifts,
Yeah.
but there's the gift that I give you at the end with the bow. That's Bellinger.
Yeah, that makes sense, Joel. I think and you did answer the question because you're essentially saying, look, the market for Tucker is going to be so high. It doesn't make sense financially for the Yankees to invest in him. I think Yankees fans are asking themselves again, like if Bellinger does decide to go back to, let's say, the Dodgers or signs with the Mets across town, or he finds another place to go get that big contract and the Yankees don't meet that asking price, is there a possibility they would pivot to a guy like Kyle Tucker because you do need to replace that production from Cody Bellinger that you got last year in the outfield. It's a lot.
So I think the other thing is, could Kyle Tucker play center? Maybe.
Mm.
He's a very good defender on the corners. I don't, I've never heard he wants to do it or willingly wants to do it. So if the Yankees signed Tucker, does that mean they also have to re-sign Grisham, who I assume, and again, it's an assumption, I don't know, he's probably going to turn down the qualifying offer. This is his one big shot after the 30 plus homers to do a multi-year contract. Do you want to give 3 at pick the number to Grisham plus what you do to Tucker? Then you've got to trade at minimum Jason Dominguez and at maybe Spencer Jones. Uh, if not, who's your center fielder? You don't want to move 34, 35-year-old Aaron Judge back there. Dominguez is in the Dominican Winter League now, working on reps in left field, which is good for him. It's
Which you
something
called.
which I said he was going to do um, uh, to try to get better there. Tucker probably becomes your left fielder. You still need a center fielder. And does that mean you're now in the gotta close our eyes and hope that last year wasn't a mirage and sign Trent Grisham for what the market says Trent
Right.
Grisham will bear? That's a double move also
Yeah.
that I'm not sure you want to do.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point by you, Joel. If they were to sign a Kyle Tucker.
And let me throw in one other thing, Ryan, just so I hope fans see it's if the Yankees didn't have Giancarlo Stanton,
Mm.
I'd be like, whatever the highest bid is on Kyle Schwarber, you have to be $1 more. This isn't a I don't particularly love the player at the price it would cost for for Tucker, the other Kyle. But if you told me, hey, Stanton retired today, he doesn't want to do this anymore, I'd be like, you have to be on the phone and win for Schwarber, who I
Yeah.
think would hit 60 homers in his sleep at Yankee Stadium. Or let's be realistic, he'd hit 50 again. uh, your clubhouse would always be great because he's such a great leader and he's so serious about the sport. So I I hope it's never misinterpreted as I'm like trying to carry water for the owner. Like here, I'm trying to tell you what I think the owner is trying to do,
Yeah,
and then
you're being realistic, very
and
realistic.
within the frame of I'm not a general manager. I play the 31st on TV here. It's a shitty paying job, but I got to tell you what I think about players I watch all the time and
Hmm.
where I would do it. Like, I think, for example, the Mets should try to sign Bregman and Schwarber and be like, if you think you had clubhouse problems last year, we'll deal with two areas: solidify third base, solidify DH. In that case, letting Alonso walk would not be as problematic, right? Go and get a real defender at first base then, because you just added Schwarber, who will
Hmm.
more than equal that. And so, like, this is not an attempt to
No, no, yeah.
limit the spending of anybody, but it is an attempt to say, here's players I like, and let's be realistic about what Hal Steinbrenner is going to be able to do. And then if you want to call some talk radio and scream about that he's cheap, go do it. But that's going to be like screaming at the rain to stop. It's probably not going to stop it. So, like, let's try to like deal with where he's likely taking this.